For IESE Business School Global Executive MBA program of America's Track 2015, Team 2 presents its documentary on China, prepared in November 2014 during the Shanghai module. Our team has Susana and Ivan from Spain coming to Shanghai, Amit coming from Canada to Shanghai, Flavio coming from Prague, Stefan coming from Germany, and Luca coming from Italy. Thus, it's a unique GEMBA perspective on China to understand what does this Middle Kingdom store, learning perspective from students from all over the world, taking their first steps to understanding China, knowing its people, its culture, its economy, and the role that the country has come to play in the world economy. To learn about China, the central role that China plays in the world today is getting to know the people, the Chinese mindset, their worldview. China is as much about economic success, the dazzling economy, the speed, the scale, the size of industrialization and urbanization, 22 million people living in a city. It's also about its culture, its tradition, as our team experienced during the family visit, about the tea culture and the uniqueness about it. Let us explore the Middle Kingdom and understand China from the experiences from some of our team members.
So now, this is the German point of view. What did I expect before I went to China? I expected an emerging country, a little chaotic, and I saw an emerging country, but growing fast, but really well organized and pretty quiet or tranquil. I expected a communist country with lots of presence of military and police regulating everyday life, but I only saw one police car taking care of the traffic. I expected the communism to be like the Russian or Eastern German one, but it is totally different in China. It encourages people to become engaged, to become entrepreneurs, and I think that's one of the tricks for the high growth that they have for a long time now. And as for the factories, I expected sweatshops, and I think they still do exist. But the Nokia plant we saw was very similar to Western standards and required higher skilled workers. The raw materials came from other countries that do the basic labor. That was Vietnam and Indonesia, I think. And what stood out for me, that was feeling powerless because I couldn't read or speak the language, and people still don't speak much English. Thanks.
China was for me the unknown country. I didn't know what to expect. But one thing I didn't expect was a big difference between the cities we visit. We visit Shanghai, Beijing, Guilin, and Xi'an. Shanghai was a more Western style of city where politics wasn't an issue. Nobody cared about it. You could speak freely about it. But when we went to Beijing, you could feel that politics was a taboo for the people. Xi'an and Guilin were more smaller cities, especially Guilin, and people were more free and relaxed. Other thing that surprised me was the absolute lack of interest in communicating with us. I mean, English is not known, and they are not concerned about it. But on the other hand, Chinese is not known in the Western, and we're not concerned about it. So that's not a big city. Finally, I found a lot of similarities with when talking to business people. They have the same problems that we do and the same concerns that we do. So that makes us not that different from them.
Being an Indian living in Canada and having Chinese friends, I was very intrigued to go to China and understand the growth that China has achieved. I wanted to understand how does communism and capitalism live under one roof and how do the people think about all this. China was an eye opener for me. I don't think I have seen any country in the world which can execute things at such a speed and scale. The transition of China was unimaginable for me. I realized that it's capitalist growth at a speed not seen but driven by communist drivers. The state plays a very embedded role in everything that happens in the country. But all this has come at a big cost for environment and society. In my interactions with Chinese, I realized that they're ready to pay this cost because it's given them wealth and prosperity and growth. Um, I have come to realize the Middle Kingdom will continue to play a central role for generations to come. Let us now focus on the Chinese people, their worldview, what do they think, their hopes, their aspirations, and get to know China from the Chinese people.
So, what's your name? Or could you please do a little bit introduce from yourself?
Yeah,
And
okay. My name is Angie Fan. I'm coming from Sichuan province, Chengdu. I'm doing business in Shanghai and Dubai. I stay in Shanghai during last 4 years.
so where are you from?
I'm from Chengdu,
Chengdu.
Sichuan province.
And how long have you been living here in Shanghai?
Already 4 years. 4 years.
4 years, okay,
Yes.
thank you. And how do you feel about the fast change of China?
I think it's a big surprise for everybody, and we are feeling that it's just like the flying speed, but it's stable. We feel safe.
What are your plans for the future?
I think I will continue stay in Shanghai to follow my business here and still keeping different traveling to Middle East and Europe.
Okay, thank you so much.
I'm here with Virginia Brown. Thank you very much for taking part of this documentary. So Virginia, I'm going to ask you some questions around particularly the old and new China and the changing environment. So first of all, how long have you been living here?
I born in Shanghai, so looks like 35 years in Shanghai.
Okay, wonderful. Now, you told me you're born here, but where are you from in terms of your family and everyone else?
My parents also born in Shanghai, so maybe they moved from
Other parts of China.
part of China, like the Guangxi. Yeah, it's
Okay.
very far from Shanghai.
Okay, thank you. How do you feel about the fast change that you're seeing both in Shanghai and in China?
I'm so proud of the China and the Shanghai, and I think and I believe we will get better and better, more strong.
Wonderful. What are your plans for the future?
I want to have a baby with my husband in next year, and want to open a restaurant like the casual restaurant or coffee shop.
Wonderful. It's great to see the entrepreneurial spirit. And what do you love most and least about China and Shanghai?
I like Shanghai everywhere, especially like the old French concession and the old town in Yuan Garden. No
No
place.
dislikes.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, Virginia.
Thank you.
We learnt in our module that the Middle Kingdom is following the middle path. It's an equal blend of modernity with conformity to traditions and values. While there is an entrepreneurial spirit, a growing middle class, a country which is making great strides with its economic progress, but values of its people are rooted in the culture, the history, and the tradition. We learned that China does not want to lead the world, but we also learned that China does not want to be led either. China is now asserting itself and will not allow any other nation to influence it. China wants to scale new heights. Aspirations are high, but the state is a watchdog. There are some shadows which China does not want us to look into. There is an unnerving feeling that liberty and freedom are not allowed beyond a point. The sweatshops were not seen. The progress in the big cities are showcased. But take the side roads and we paint a different picture. We paint a picture of a city fighting pollution, water and air pollution. There was this continuous smog while we were in Shanghai, which could not be escaped. Growth, wealth, and prosperity foster free thinking and freedom. How long will the state monitor its people is anyone's guess. It's working, it's stable, and the country is rapidly transitioning to progress. It's acceptable. This is a unique blend of capitalism with communism, of tradition with modernity. After all, it is called the People's Republic of China. Our team concludes that culturally and economically, China will continue to surprise the world. Thank you for watching.